Today, China issued a sharp warning to the United States. At an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council, Beijing openly challenged Washington over its growing military presence near Venezuela. On December 24, 2025, China's Deputy Permanent Representative to the UN, Sun Lei, made a stunning allegation. He said the United States is using drug trafficking enforcement as a pretext to justify sending more military forces into the Caribbean waters off Venezuela's coast. According to China, these moves are escalating tensions, not just in Venezuela, but across Latin America and the global community. Sun Lei accused Washington of violating national sovereignty, undermining regional security, and breaking international law, including the UN Charter itself. China warned that these actions are threatening peace and stability across the entire Latin American and Caribbean region. Beijing stressed one key point: Venezuela is a sovereign nation with the right to choose its own allies, shape its own foreign policy, and defend its national interests. China reiterated its opposition to unilateral sanctions, foreign interference, and the threat or use of force. And Beijing demanded the United States stop these actions immediately, lift sanctions, and choose peace over confrontation. These remarks echo recent warnings from China and Russia, who described U.S. tactics as, quote, cowboy behavior and intimidation. So, what triggered this confrontation? The crisis follows a series of U.S. tanker seizures near Venezuela. Most recently, on December 20, 2025, U.S. forces boarded and seized a tanker allegedly carrying 1.8 million barrels of Venezuelan oil bound for China. Washington says this is part of an oil blockade aimed at fighting corruption and narcotics trafficking. But Caracas tells a very different story. Venezuela calls it international piracy and the greatest extortion in history. China strongly protested the seizure, calling it a serious violation of international law and warning it could shatter global maritime norms and set a dangerous precedent worldwide. Reports say a third tanker was being pursued, and Venezuela has now passed laws criminalizing any cooperation with these seizures and sanctions. So why does this matter far beyond Venezuela? For nearly 2 decades, China has been one of Venezuela's largest lenders and oil partners, with oil for loan deals worth tens of billions of dollars. If Beijing deepens its involvement through economic support, weapons sales, or even military cooperation, analysts warn the balance of power in the region could shift. That could mean stronger Venezuelan defenses powered by Chinese technology, more funding for Caracas despite U.S. pressure, and stronger diplomatic backing from China, Russia, and parts of the global south. What starts as a regional dispute could quickly evolve into a major geopolitical showdown. Could this spiral into something bigger? Experts say World War III remains unlikely, but the risk is real and growing. The most dangerous scenario? A direct clash at sea, possibly involving a Chinese-linked tanker, triggering retaliation and pulling in powerful allies. Add oil supply shocks, cyber warfare, sanctions escalation, and rising mistrust, and the consequences could spread far beyond the Caribbean. For now, diplomacy is still possible. All sides know the cost of escalation would be enormous, and the world is watching closely to see how Washington, Beijing, and Venezuela choose their next move. This is a fragile moment in global politics where energy, sovereignty, and great power rivalry collide.